ओम शांति, कैन यू हियर मी? मेरी आवाज आ रही है आप सभी को? यस, ओके. So I would like to first of all welcome all the participants that you have taken out the time and have understood the importance to connect for this program on vision for the future of healthcare. As we all know that for the last 2 years, especially during the pandemic, the world went through a lot of change and we began to talk about the new normal. And when we talk about the new normal, in these 2 years, the most important, the warriors were our doctors, our nurses, and those who were on, the front line. And this makes us think that क्या इसी प्रकार की जब इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं, इस प्रकार से जैसे विश्व आगे बढ़ रहा है, हम वैसे ही फंक्शन करेंगे, और डू वी हैव टू हैव अनदर विजन, अनदर थिंकिंग, अनदर एटीट्यूड, अनदर एक्शन? तो ऐसे ही कुछ सवालों को लेकर, कुछ सॉल्यूशंस को लेकर हम एक्सपर्ट्स से सुनेंगे, उनके व्यू पॉइंट्स चर्चा करेंगे, और स्पिरिचुअलिटी का क्या डिमेंशन है वो भी हम जानेंगे. सो आई होप दैट आई एम ऑडिबल. हमारे पास ये मैसेज आ रहा है कि ऑडियो नहीं है, बट जस्ट रेज योर हैंड्स इफ यू कैन हियर मी. आप मेरी आवाज सुन सकते हैं तो हाथ उठाएं. यस, सो पीपल कैन हियर, तो आप अपने एंड से चेक कर लें. अगर जिनको साउंड नहीं आ रहा है, you'll have to check from your end. So with this, we have amongst us our very eminent experts who are both in spirituality as well as in the medical field. So we have Dr. Girish Patel ji with us. We have Dr. Mishra. We also will be listening to Brother Charles Hogg from Australia. And we will be also listening to Asha Didi, her thoughts. So without further ado, मैं इस कार्यक्रम को जो ब्रह्मा कुमारीज की ओर से हम प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं, और खास करके 75 years of independence जो हम मना रहे हैं, तो ये किस प्रकार से आजादी के साथ साथ ये स्वर्णिम भारत की ओर हमें लेकर जाए, ऐसे ही लक्ष्य के साथ हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. And मैं invite करना चाहूंगी, we have amongst us, I can see Dr. Girish Patel ji, who has joined us from Mumbai. So thank you, Girish Bhai ji, for taking out the time and joining from Mumbai. I'll just give a short introduction. I'm sure many of us know him and we've seen him on television, we've heard about him, और हो सकता है हम में से आप कुछ मिले भी होंगे. He's a psychotherapist, international trainer and author, and you've traveled extensively throughout the globe. You have had a very good academic career, started at Topiwala National Medical College, Mumbai, and then you've also done a doctorate in psychotherapy. You're also a fellow of the Royal Society of Health, London, and a patron of the Society for Preservation of Medical Ethics. A very important aspect of Dr. Patel is that he started, of course, he's a great doctor, but he started practicing spirituality, yogic practices, especially the Raj Yoga meditation with the Brahma Kumaris at a very young age. And he has used those principles to treat his patients. So it's a great mix, a very holistic approach of treating patients. And we would like to know from Dr. Patel, आपसे हम जानना चाहेंगे कि इस विषय में आपका क्या व्यू है कि आने वाले समय में हमारा विजन हेल्थ केयर को लेकर क्या होना चाहिए. और हमारे साथ जो भी डॉक्टर्स भी जुड़े हुए हैं, once again we welcome you and we thank you for taking out your time. So Dr. Girish Bhai ji, आपके साथ हम, I would request you to please टेक इट फॉरवर्ड. और हमारे साथ जो लोग जुड़े हैं, इफ पॉसिबल आप अपना वीडियो ऑन करें तो हमें भी लगेगा कि हम एक सभा में बैठे हैं. इफ पॉसिबल तो हम वीडियो को ऑन रखें। ओम शांति। गिरीश भाई आपको अनम्यूट करते हैं। गिरीश भाई को अनम्यूट करेंगे।
Yes, yes. Om Shanti, everybody. It's a very, very important topic. Why? Because it's not only pandemic. Otherwise, also lifestyle diseases are increasing year by year. Level of stress is also increasing. Life is becoming quite fast. Education level of patient is increasing. Patients are becoming more and more demanding. So there are so many factors. So if we see from all those perspectives, the healthcare needs, in fact, a radical change. Our approach has to change if you want to give one thing, a good healthcare, as well as at times, when we meet doctors, if you want to survive in this competitive world, especially in metros, where there are so many doctors and patient has a choice to go to anybody. So there, indeed, the future of healthcare has to be radically different. Another aspect psychologically, like earlier, we used to say that almost after 15 years, the generation is changing, maybe 15, 20 years. Now, every 3 years, generation is changing. So their value system, approach, demands, everything is getting transformed. And that's why we need this total different approach to healthcare. It's okay. Technology has increased, like robotic surgeries, many other things. Like even in my field, mental health, the stem cell therapy has come. So technology is perfect. But apart from technology, what we are missing is human touch. Unless there is an aspect of human touch, we won't be able to treat patients, as it was said in the beginning, holistically. So to say, in totality. So let me come to practical aspects rather than talking about theories and various other aspects. Practically, what we need to do, and I'm sure if you are a bit open, you would definitely get some message out of what I want to share with you. So first of all, we need to teach patients with heart, not only with head. If you are only treating your patients with head, then you are treating them mechanical. And they are not machines. So we need to have that aspects of emotions at both the ends, in fact. Try to understand emotions of the patient as well as put your own emotions as well. Like as it is always said, that we need to be empathetic. What is empathy? There can be 3 approaches. There are doctors who are apathic, who are only concerned about their benefits. Very few, I agree, I'm not blaming, maybe hardly few percent, but there are some like that. There are some who are sympathetic, means you get emotionally drained away while treating patients. And empathy means do understand from patient's perspective But at the same time, you have to maintain your energy level as well. Why? Nowadays, we doctors are also falling prey to so many psychosomatic diseases. It's because we have not understood this fundamental aspect, that I want to treat patients in totality, but at the same time, I need to preserve my energy level. I will share with you what to do. So this is first aspect. Second is, coming to practical aspects, say as soon as patient enters into your cabin, what we need is a smile. If you are serious, patients are always impatient. Patients are always anxious. These days, patients are always suspicious to going to a doctor. That know what sort of test he's going to prescribe, what he's going to do, and so on. So that's why this very first smile makes patient relax. His trust factor would indeed increase. And the second thing, what would be right now also it is needed, it would be much more in future, that give your total attention to patient. If you are not totally attentive to what patient is saying, because now there are even double-blind studies which have proven that it is not only what medicine you are giving, how accurate is your diagnosis, but most important, almost 30% role is patient's faith in doctor. At the end of everything what you have done, if patient doesn't believe that doctor has understood my problem accurately and the treatment which he has given is right, he's not going to be cured. I have treated large number of patients, believe me, because in mental health, what happens? Patient go from doctor to doctor. No, these are chronic illnesses. In many cases, when I see that, yes, the previous doctor diagnosis is more or less correct, medicines were right, I might have given similar medicine, only what I had added was to convince them, to examine them properly. Large number of patients have told me that, doctor, you are the first doctor who have examined me. So far I went to so many, nobody has touched me even. You are the first one who have examined me. So even if we think it is not necessary, in mental health, somebody might say there is no need to check pulse or even abdominal examination, whatever. But still we need to do, so that the fact is we don't miss something. And secondly, it is patient's conviction. Because patient doesn't know that by just understanding his history, you can come to an accurate diagnosis. So these aspects, as I said, smile, full concentration on what patient is saying, and become a good listener. We had created a whole course. The title was Skills Not Taught in Medical Colleges. Indeed, listening skills are not taught in medical colleges. Doctor need to be a good listener. And if you listen well, even you would understand much more better the patient's confidence, as I said, that would also improve. Apart from that, explaining the illness properly. If you can properly explain the illness to patient, then also that part of confidence would increase. Even when we prescribe also, no, jokingly it has been said that no, doctor's handwriting can be understood by chemist only, which is not right. You know, once somebody told me, it seems you're not a doctor. I said, why? He told me, your handwriting is so good. If your handwriting is so good, you cannot be a doctor. I was really surprised. So doctor's handwriting can really be good. Your prescription should be such that no patient can really understand it properly. Now, as it, we are talking about future of medicine. I would say the future of medicine, it would really become a need. That in future, you would, even a physician would need a counselor. Even today, if physician sees say 30 patients a day, 10 of them have emotional problems. So if you can deal with those emotional problems in your clinic itself, you are giving better care. This one study was done, very, very simple study with a powerful effect. In this study, in a corporate hospital, apart from everything, in the waiting room itself, there were volunteers. And those volunteers spoke to patients. They heard them. They gave them some assurance, simple assurances were given. And they found that this itself has a better outcome. So if I'm sure in coming another 10, 15 years, there will be a need that as you have a nurse in your clinic, you would also need a counselor who would counsel your patients. And without that, they will not improve. And right now, I think we need to start with it. And our approach has to be mind-body medicine approach. Because most of the problems are beginning in mind. So the cure also should begin in mind. The various techniques of mind-body medicine are now proven techniques. But we are even at Brahma Kumari's medical wing, we are starting a postgraduate diploma in mind-body care. There was some issue to call it a mind-body medicine. So I said, okay, call it a mind-body care. Only doctors who are graduate can take part in this particular course, which would be for 1 year. And in that, we are going to share everything. The basis as well as the facts, the techniques of mind-body medicine. So I'm sure it's going to become a need of the hour in future. Another aspect, which is true right now, I would say, and this would be much more applicable in future, that your setup is also important. The environment of your clinic is important. In one study, it was found, it was said that when you design your nursing home or a hospital, take care of the ceiling of your hospital more. Because patient is lying down, maybe 8, 10 hours is looking at the ceiling. If there is something, if he can relax or do something, that would have much more better effect. Even this study was there that in hospital, the patient's rooms were in the window outside. If there were beautiful scenes, they recovered much faster. And where there were no scenes, only the blank walls, recovery was less. So like this, I would say so many transformations are necessary. And now they are proven. Coming to a very, very important aspect, like our energy level, I would say, when we come in contact with our patients, we are also exchanging our aura. It's not only like, no, you are only listening to them, but we are also exchanging the aura of the patient. And if our aura is weak, we are going to get influenced by their aura, which is definitely a diseased aura. And we will get affected faster. So that's why we need to do something. It can be different thing. You can practice positive thinking. You can practice relaxation. Very important can be meditation, because meditation is not religion. Meditation is also science. As you study atom, you can also study Atma scientifically. And if you see now, if we think of physics, say approach is changing over, say, 200 years also, if we think of. Say, Newtonian physics was there, then magnetism came into the play, and then ultimately in the starting of the 20th century, the whole scenario was transformed. That is now quantum physics. When this quantum physics came into existence, when those theories were developed, even Einstein had difficulty accepting. But then it is a reality. Even day in and day out, in your MRIs and all, we are using quantum mechanism. Even a expert in quantum physics said, no one understands quantum physics. He said, even I don't understand quantum physics. I was really surprised that he's a Nobel laureate and he says, I don't understand quantum physics. Then when I was studying more, I came across another quote where another expert said that to understand quantum physics is not difficult, but to accept quantum mechanism is difficult. That indeed this can happen. Something like quantum tunneling, very difficult to accept. So now, no, it's a part of our life. Similarly, I would say the meditation, spirituality is a part. Maybe not, it will be definitely be proven one day. Say, when bacteria were not proven, when viruses were not proven, they did exist. It's not that they were not there. Only nobody saw it under microscope. So similarly, the existence of soul will be proven, but by that time it will be too late. Now let's have a scientific approach, understand spiritual knowledge, practice it in a right way, and benefits are visible. All the physiological changes that happens during practice of meditation are indeed visible. I would say over more than 1,000 papers have been published. So let's see from that perspective that at least the outcome is measurable. And when the outcome is measurable, why not we practice it? It's why it's a need of our. Once we fall sick, say, even as a doctors, there were studies that probably like all those lifestyle diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, asthma, acidity, their arthritis are more among doctors. And once we suffer lifelong, your life becomes uncomfortable. Lifelong, there is some here and there problems are going to be there. So the best thing is to prevent them for ourselves as a doctor. And to prevent, meditation is going to help us. So that's why let's take a scientific approach and practice it. We have done several studies. Like, no, now my main interest is to measure bioenergy field. There are so many now cameras by which you can measure bioenergy field. Like, no, within seconds it is changing. If I take up a bioenergy field and then do it after even 30 seconds, there is a transformation. So it's because of your thought patterns, your emotions. Even while practicing meditation, I have done this bioenergy field in hundreds of patients continuously, like a videography. And second to second, we could measure that how it is going towards positive direction. Only in some who are becoming anxious. And later on, when we took interview, even they said that during meditation, rather than going into that relaxed state, we were becoming anxious. There only the bioenergy field was going into negative direction. So now we have proven things. So that's why I can talk for hours, in fact, that what can be the future of medicine. But be sure, now what we need, I personally feel, is more than medical knowledge. We definitely need medical knowledge. I'm not denying. Like now I am 64, still every day we have to study. Newer medicines are coming, newer approaches are coming. But more than medical knowledge, what we need is wisdom. When I say wisdom, I am not talking about religion. Wisdom can be very simple. The wisdom is our approach has to be inside out. Today the approach has become outside in. So if our approach is inside out, then we would progress much better in our life. Similarly, another simple wisdom is, suppose if I give you a piece of bread and tell you that convert it into 4 pieces, it's very easy. You will divide it into 4 pieces. If I tell you that convert it into, say, 34 pieces, then you will have to make small pieces. The same way, if you want to enjoy life, enjoy small things. Even though most of us, we must be spending at least 6 to 8, 9 hours in the clinic. So there also, when patients are coming, don't think it's a routine. Rather, learn from them. I have learned a lot from patients rather than what I'd learned from medical colleges. So if you start enjoying small things, life will become much better. So like that, there can be lots of things. Even I have created almost 365 wisdom of the day. Many of them are there on the YouTube. They're small, hardly 1 to 2 minutes. So acquire those wisdom, and then you would find that your life is fulfilled. Apart from becoming a good doctor, you would also feel that I have led a good life. I hope I have shared something, at least in the short time that was available. Do think about it. If you have liked few points, please note them down. And repeat. Then only they can become part of your subconscious. Otherwise, it's only an information. Information is not going to help. What would help you if this information or knowledge gets internalized and it becomes a part and parcel of your day-to-day living. Thank you very much. Om Shanti. Yeah,
Thank you
hello.
very, yeah.
Yeah. If you want the meditation, you must say.
Yes, no, it was very beautiful. आपने इतना सुंदर रीति से बताया, especially like that bit जब आपने कहा सीलिंग को भी ठीक रखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि it is actually thinking from the patient's perspective. And another important point is that it's all about wisdom also. केवल हम medical ज्ञान of course वो बहुत important है, और इतने वर्ष लगाकर एक व्यक्ति एक डिग्री हासिल करता है, वो भी एक तपस्या है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ हमें वो, जैसे आपने बताया, विजडम भी अक्वायर करना पड़ेगा. सो दैट्स वेरी ब्यूटिफुल. इफ देयर इज एनीबॉडी हु वुड लाइक टू आस्क एनीथिंग, आप पूछ सकते हैं. मैं कोई सवाल है या कोई कमेंट है, तो वी हैव अबाउट 5 minutes टू इंटरैक्ट विद अस. आप में से कोई ऐसे हैं जो इंटरैक्ट करना चाहेंगे, या you want to ask or share or comment? Anybody? Just put your, we have one hand up, which is Aparna. Do you want to say something? So is there anybody who would like to ask anything to doctor or share your thoughts on the same? Hanji. तो एक क्वेश्चन है, मैं आपसे ये सो आप उसको प्लीज टेकअप करें. डॉक्टर अमृता का है, तो आप वो गाइड करें.
ट्रू. हाँ, एफर्मेशंस की बात थी ना, करेक्ट.
जी,
लाइक बेसिक एफर्मेशंस. First and foremost, I always say that is self-esteem. Self-esteem is a cornerstone of self-progress. So first affirmation can be, I accept myself as I am. Second is, I am very happy where I am. Although I have a very high goal, but wherever I am very, very happy. Yeah, this can be very good, that my concentration and creativity are increasing. So like that, if you have paid attention, affirmation has to be always positive in a present continuous tense. Also, if possible, create a picture, because subconscious understands language of pictures. So also picturize them and add emotions into it, because subconscious gets affected by emotions. So this can be some of the affirmations. And somebody was asking about those papers also. I would definitely send you the link.
Sure.
There are a large number, but I will send you some of the links.
Yeah. So just on this affirmation bit, क्योंकि एक बहुत important आपने बताई है, इसके साथ जो आपने कहा पिक्चराइज और इमोशन और एफर्मेशन, इन तीनों को साथ में कैसे रखें? अगर आप इन तीनों को हमें साथ में, ये जो 3 एफर्मेशंस दिए, उसे एक्सप्लेन कर दें.
हाँ, बेसिक जैसे ना कि I accept myself as I am. तो वो एक तो thought, one is a thought.
Yes.
The picture is create your own picture. So if I'm doing, I would visualize my picture. Like we all have seen ourselves in mirror. So picturize it and think that, no, I accept myself as I am, very, very happy with me. Then you can change. All of us need transformation. No, ego is something different. Narcissism is a trait, no, where person thinks I don't need any change.
Mhm.
No, I am the best. Which is extremely harmful. I'm not talking about narcissism. What I am sharing is that we should have self-esteem, that I need change, but I can change first if I accept myself. That's why even this is being accepted in psychology, that we should have a very high goal,
Mhm.
but feel very satisfied and happy wherever you are.
Mhm.
And also learn from every event. You should have a very high goal, but in the journey, so many events are happening.
Mhm.
We should even learn from those events and keep on moving forward towards our ultimate goal. Right? And when we say emotion, we even develop a technique, what we call a fairy technique. Even the PhD thesis is written on this 3-4 of my techniques. The fairy technique is F is freedom, E is emotions, R is repeat, and I is internalize. So give those affirmation total freedom. It might look a little odd, but that only goes in the subconscious. Like now you can close your doors if you wish, but no, say loudly that I accept myself as I am. No, repeat them. Add emotions into it. Create a picture. Repeat few times. And then just lie down or sit somewhere and let it go deep within you. If it goes deep in your subconscious, if it is done for approximately 6-7 weeks, then it can become part of your subconscious and lifelong you are like that. That's how even subconscious develops otherwise. Right? Anything else? Yeah, yes, sister.
Yes, that is wonderful what you've shared right now. And हमारे पास questions तो बहुत आ रहे हैं और हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपका एक अलग से फिर से पूरा session लेना पड़ेगा.
You can share my phone number with them.
Yes. So
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, we can share that and
Yeah.
we can have another, it's
Feel free
just
to
the beginning.
communicate.
Ji. So really, it's just the beginning and we've come together, all the doctors and yourself from Mumbai, and it's just the beginning and I think we should connect more often और हम जरूर और connect करेंगे जिससे हम इसको और आगे लेके चलें. So that's a message to all participants here. So thank you, Girish bhai, so much for your time and really for that wisdom and affirmations. And I'm surely we will, all of us in spirituality and हमारा काम यही है कि हम अपने को ठीक रखकर दूसरों को सर्व कर सके. So I'm very happy that हमारे मध्य में आप सभी पहुंचे हैं. We will now move forward और हमारे मध्य में हमारे साथ ब्रदर चार्ली भी ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं. But before that, I will request Dr. MC Mishra to please address us. I'll just give a short introduction of Dr. MC Mishra. He is formerly the director of AIMS from 2013 to 2017, and he's also been the head of the Department of General Surgery. And he's known for his never-ending enthusiasm for teaching, learning, and transforming. And really, that is what, I'm sure that's got you here. He foresaw the need for specialized trauma care early on and established the Apex Trauma Center at AIMS. And he has, to his credit, over 198 original articles in indexed international journals. So for experience of more than 45 years, we surely look forward to your thoughts on what is the vision for the future healthcare. So Dr. Mishra, please share your thoughts with us.
Om Shanti, बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you so much for keeping this panel discussion, and it was wonderful to hear Dr. Girish Patel, his insights into self-healing, how we all can nurture that. And this aspect has been very well utilized during COVID over last 2 years. But when we come to health problems, health issues, with our large population of almost 130 crores plus, there are huge challenges. There is no doubt about that. And if we look at the WHO projections in 1999, which are coming true today, that what would be the illnesses in the new millennium, which began almost 21 years ago, the top diseases which lead to disability adjusted life year lost are cardiovascular diseases around the globe as well as in India. Next to that comes the field which Dr. Girish Patel specializes in, the mental health illnesses. And they are increasing by the day. And in COVID, we have seen how it has impacted the society everywhere, in developed world, in developing world, no exception. And then in terms of disability adjusted life years lost, what we call dailies, the number 3 position now is for injuries, the trauma, the road accidents, the falls. If we look at mental health illnesses alone in India, almost there are 200,000 suicides every year. Equal number, we lose them in road accidents and other falls and etc., other violence, the homicides. You can imagine when we talk of injuries, behind each death, we have 12 to 20 times severely injured individuals, and 50 to 60 times we have minor injuries, so-called minor injuries, which also give a lot of morbidity, lot of disability, where people lose their livelihood. And injury actually is the most common reason for urban or rural indebtedness. Because what I say, if I am suffering from heart disease, and if I don't have money, I might not get treated myself, and I leave it to God. Whatever He does, we accept that. If I live, I live. If I don't live, I don't live. But if I break my bone in an accident or I get injured, I have to get myself treated. I have to go to a hospital. And in India, when we are talking of future of healthcare, out of 130 crore people or 139 crore, whatever number currently is there, most people do not have access and affordability. And that's a huge problem. And that is why, if you look back, that Ayushman Bharat was initiated by Government of India. There are various state governments have come out with various health schemes under various names. But despite that, when we talk of healthcare, we have a primary healthcare, we have secondary, and we have a tertiary, which provides treatment for like cardiovascular diseases, neurological disorders, neurology, neurosurgical, and also others, what we call super specialized services in many areas of medicine. But like, for example, if you look at a waiting list for brain tumors to be operated at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, is 2 years and 3 years for brain tumors. You can imagine, can somebody wait for that long? Because the patient can't afford expensive treatment in corporate hospital or a private hospital. And there is a limit to which these institutions can cater to. So there is a huge gap what we have, what we require. And that is where the challenges lie for all of us. Ayushman Bharat has helped to some extent, but not all. Because today, if you look at cancer treatment, for example, it is hugely expensive, both diagnosis and therapy in private. In government, there are waiting lists. So the healthcare we have to see in totality. So what I think Girish Bhai was saying, basically how we can keep ourselves healthy, not that we can prevent all diseases. It is not going to happen. But at least to a large extent, if you look at me today, I am a doctor, I am a surgeon, I am 70 years old, and I do not take any medicine for my illness today, whether it's diabetes or cardiovascular issue or any other. So what Dr. Girish was mentioning, your own self-healing potential, which each one of us can take advantage of, having a positive attitude of life, a healthy living lifestyle. And in that, what we can do, and this we have been telling people during COVID times, that most post-COVID symptoms were amenable to nature cure through diet, through yoga, through meditation. Whether these symptoms belong to brain or lungs or heart or musculoskeletal system, very few would require basically the modern medical system therapy. Now, various yoga asanas, psychosocial effects can be very well dealt with. Dr. Girish highlighted that point, and I echo and I entirely agree with him. Breathing, pranayams, it was a predominantly lung disease in Delta variant wave or even Alpha variant. Pranayams, Anulom Vilom, Brahmari, prone breathing. So breathing actually saved many lives. And those people, patients who were with a positive mindset, were doing these breathing exercise, they had a will to live, they survived, even with a very severe disease. But many could not because they were depressed. Everybody was scared. Will I survive? Will I live when I have got COVID? Most yoga asanas involve breathing. We all know this. Then Dr. Girish mentioned about psychological counseling and other counseling, which is so essential in healing. Because a lot of people, as he said, know yourself, who you are. Not many people think in that direction. So what they need is basically a lot of reassurance. And that heals a lot of people because it takes away a lot of anxiety. Building positive attitude in life is the cornerstone of your health and confidence that I will be okay. And then naturally one could have done nasopharyngeal hygiene by Jal Neti and all that. So our thoughts and our emotions affect our immune system also. The stress, anxiety, fear, negative emotions, they are all known to weaken immune system. That's why the yoga, which includes meditation, mindfulness, positive attitude and emotions, relaxation when it is required, they all strengthen our immune system. So what I think, I again repeat what Dr. Girish Patel mentioned, know yourself. So unlocking your self-healing potential is the key to remain healthy, which includes your physical activity, that is what we call achar, and exercise, your vichar, what he very beautifully mentioned, right thoughts and attitude towards life. It's vital for our well-being. And then ahar, naturally, healthy, nourishing diet. Today, we are having the epidemic or pandemic of lifestyle disorders, non-communicable diseases. injury is a non-communicable disease, so are diabetes, so is cardiovascular diseases, so are psychosocial diseases. So diet with adequate intake of fresh water, balanced intake, fresh food, vegetarian food, salads, sprouts, whatever you like. One can find sattvic bhojan in your diet, and which is served at home cooked food. And that is what we have learned in COVID, that home food was the best, with love, which is served with love and affection by your mother, by your sister, wife, and others. And then vihar. So achar, vichar, and vihar, proper recreational activities to relax your body. With music plays a lot of part in this. And it is important to relax our mind, essential for holistic health. Whatever music you like, that actually does the trick. And your own behavior, vyavahar. Healthy interpersonal relationships also enhance psychosocial health. So basically what I would say towards the end, because my time is finishing, that we all pray that everyone stays safe and healthy in these times. And through yogic secrets of self-care, what was beautifully highlighted by Dr. Girish, we can stand as one humanity to fight the enemy within, because it all is in our body and mind, how we can cleanse it. And this will allow humanity to prevail. So I'll end here. If there are any questions, surely we'll like to take those questions. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mishra. It was really wholesome, and आपने बहुत अच्छी रीति से हमें बतलाया कि कैसे सात्विक हमारे आचार, विचार और विहार, they have an effect, and especially our immunity is also based on how relaxed we are and using yogic practices, mindfulness, and meditation. Of course, medicine is there, but we can actually increase our immunity through these spiritual practices as well. So thank you so much for that perspective and taking out the time and being with us. Thank you once again. और हमारे पास सभी के आपके लिए appreciation के notes आ रहे हैं that it was a very nice and very wholesome input that you've given us. तो हमने डॉक्टर मिश्रा जी को सुना और डॉक्टर पटेल जी को भी सुना, and now we have amongst us brother Charles Hogg, who's just come from Australia 2 days back. He's in Delhi, and we are very fortunate to have his talk with us. He has been practicing the spirituality, Raj Yoga meditation for more than 47 years. And presently he is taking care of the entire Australian region of the Brahma Kumaris. You've got immense experience. You have organized and you've conducted many workshops throughout the globe. So without further ado, Charlie Bhai, we would request you to share your thoughts on the vision for the future of healthcare.
So thank you so much, Sister Hussain, and thank you so much, Dr. Patel and Dr. Mishra. It's been so interesting, and I think the subject of this webinar is so incredibly essential. As you heard, I'm not actually a medical professional, but perhaps I come from the other side that's really been exploring meditation for most of my life, actually. I have a friend in London who is the medical editor of the Times and the science editor of probably the world's most prestigious English-speaking newspaper. And he once wrote a book called Will to Be Well. And when you open that book, there's a quote on the front page, which just says, the greatest factor in good health is happiness. And I find that incredibly powerful. He talks about the importance of all the things we know well, diet, exercise, sleep. But ultimately, the sort of the sense of internal well-being is crucial to our health, as you have been saying. I have another friend in Melbourne who's the CEO of Vic Health, which is the Victorian Health Department. And you know, all their promotional material these days is all about mental and emotional well-being. Surveys around the world show that 50% of young people believe that mental health is the biggest issue in their lives. And really, we know that, in a sense, my mind is the center of my life. My whole life happens in my mind. It's in my mind that my thoughts, my emotions, my memories, my reactions, my relationships, they all meet in my mind. And really, everyone today, I'm finding wherever I go in the world at the moment, people are quite aware that it's important to exercise, it's important to eat well, these sort of things. But quite frankly, I think most people have absolutely no idea what to do with their mind and their mental health. And this is something which I think is absolutely the key to the future of healthcare at the moment. The state of our mental health is really everything. And my emotional health, my mental health, my spiritual health really originates from my mind. And I find that when that health is okay, then it's possible that it influences my physical health, my relationship health, my social health. As Dr. Misra has been saying, these things are absolutely important. To me, meditation offers 3 nutrients, which are probably the keys to well-being, health and well-being, health and well-being. And I would say that the first of these is peace. The second is love, and the third is happiness. Really, a human life without these 3 ingredients is not a quality human life. How can we have health? Because when these 3 ingredients are sitting in the mind, they do permeate each and every part of my life, including my physical well-being. And Dr. Misra is really saying about how important it is to know myself. We use the language, but what does that really mean in practical? Because to me, the first step towards, I'd say, the highest quality of healthcare is to experience peace by knowing who I am. And I often feel there's 3 personalities inside all of us. 2 of them make me completely peaceless, and 1 of them makes me peaceful. The 2 that make me peaceless are really, I would say, based on the image of myself as a temporary body. And when I consider myself as just a whole series of labels, who am I? I'm all these labels. I'm my gender, my nationality, etc. So when I see that, the first I that originates is the I of arrogance, the I of superiority. When this I is ruling inside my mind, it has a whole thinking, feeling, behavioral pattern which influences absolutely every part of my health. I compare with others and I think others are better, others know more. That I am better, I know more, I am right. And when it comes into my feelings, when my ego is ruling my inner system, I feel so easily insulted, disrespected, not valued, excluded. In other words, very peaceless. And this whole emotional pattern influences everything in my inner being, from my mind to my emotions to even my physical well-being. The second I is the flip side of ego. I would say the I of inferiority. And this is the I of lack of self-respect. To me, this is the dominant force in our planet at the moment, which is destroying everything we see. Why are we seeing such a chaotic world? Because the first relationship in life, me with me, is so dysfunctional in 7.9 billion human beings. And so when this is happening, when the I of inferiority, the I of lack of self-respect rules the inner world, I compare with others. I think others are better, others know more, others don't love me, others don't value me. And when it comes into my feelings, that's when I feel hopeless, inadequate, inferior, depressed. There is an epidemic of hopelessness and depression in our planet at the moment. You know, the World Health Organization says 1 in 4 suffers from depression. My experience, I've traveled to about 100 countries and talked to people everywhere. I would say it's far, far higher than 1 in 4. I would say it's over 50% of the planet really experiences depression. It says to me there's something so fundamentally wrong with the way we're thinking and living that this is the state of the world. So when I think I am the body, the 2 children, my ego and my lack of self-respect are born, I fluctuate enormously, affects all aspects of my health. The third I is the original I, the soul. The soul is a wonder. It's just a point of consciousness that sits in the front of the brain. I am the soul, and I act through this body. And when I begin to really connect with my original self, actually in meditation, I don't have to try to be peaceful. That's the result of meditation. Actually, in meditation, I just need to know and experience who I am as the soul. And the automatic consequence is that I begin to calm down. And if you hold the image, if you're a little soul sitting in the forehead and you're pulsating vibrations, it's going to affect all the cells of the body. So if this little soul is constantly emitting negativity, lack of self-value, then what's it going to do to the cells of the body? The whole system is polluted. And this is really, I've seen in my life that when the soul starts to know who it is and practice, I start to taste peace and I start to taste self-respect. And it has a massive influence on all aspects of health. I've observed it with my own eyes. So firstly, I need the nutrient of peace. Secondly, I need the nutrient of love. Probably the most important nutrient for a quality human life and true health care. I believe the subtext of human life is this search for true love. You know, we invest our heart in relationships. We just give absolutely everything to our families, but there's a huge human dilemma that no relationship is permanent. Whether it's time, whether it's change, whether it's conflict, whether it's death, the object of my love will go. This creates a massive sense of fear and insecurity inside. And really what spirituality offers is a permanent relationship. If I am the soul, the consciousness, the awareness, the point of energy that sits in the front of the brain around the pituitary gland, I can have a relationship with the Supreme Soul. And in a sense, meditation is linking my mind, not with a concept, not with a belief, not with just an idea, but a real living being. Actually, meditation is this union of I, the soul, with a being who's a source of love, but a conscious soul, the Supreme Soul. And I have noticed that when people get this link and feel this love, and this love is only a thought away, it is probably the greatest investment in good health that one can have. A constant source of high quality love does absolute wonders on mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, I would say. And, you know, to be honest, I think sometimes some people feel that meditation is not easy to do. And the reality is it's not so easy. You know, we all say, do meditation, but when we sit down, what happens? The mind goes in 100 different directions. And a lot of people lose the sense that I can really meditate well. I have this feeling inside it's not easy to do. And that's why really what we teach now is just to remember. Remembering means I just sort of, it's the most natural thing of our human psyche to remember. So I just plug in, just naturally remember. It's the most natural part of my psyche And when I remember the Supreme Soul, automatically, it's like I download this flow of love into my life. My observation over so many years of my life is that when I have that platform, and I would say, what is spirituality? Spirituality is first a loving relationship with myself as a soul. Secondly, a loving relationship with the Supreme Soul. So really, my relationship with myself becomes healed. I start to have a loving relationship with the divine. It's a platform for happier relationships with my family and friends. I would say a massive reason why healthcare is declining so rapidly is the amount of conflict in life. It's so debilitating that it manifests physically. It's so stressful. You all know that. But actually, how can we really, that we can do a lot of psychological things, but where do I get the internal strength to actually, I suppose, improve my response to other people, because I can't change other people. And when I have this loving relationship with myself, I have more self-respect. A loving relationship with God, I have more spiritual power. I really can build much healthier relationships with others. And in my observation, over so many years, it has an incredible effect on my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, and I would say even my physical health too. And I really feel the origin of, if I want to go to the seed of healing, it's up here. It's really up here. And the seed of that is really knowing who I am and developing this relationship with God. And that can create an extraordinary shift internally. So I would really like to thank you for having me. It's been really lovely to be with you. And I'm going to now pass back to Sister Hussain. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Brother Charlie. It was really very, inspiring. And the fact you said that the seed of healing is inside, and that is the key takeaway. If we understand who I am, if I remember, there can be healing, there can be health, mental, spiritual, and even physical and emotional. So that was great input from your end.
Thank you.
If there is anything anybody want to ask, or want to have any other question, you can put it into the chat window, but all I see is a lot of thanks and thumbs up. So that was really great, Charlie Bhai. So now we move forward. And
Can I make a small
Yes,
comment? There was a question
yes, please.
at the end of Dr. Patel's discourse.
Yes.
The difference in sympathy and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is very, very important to understand that most people do not want sympathy. Most people want to understand their pain if you can feel, and then accordingly you deal with them. So we all have to put in ourselves in that position with the other person is, that is empathy, that feel the pain of other person, like that person is feeling. If he's in grief, you also feel that pain. And that is something which can only be overcome by a good counseling session, and also by and not only one counseling session, it may require multiple counseling session. And I think what Mr. Charlie mentioned is very, very important. What he said, he feels that almost 50% people have phases of depression in life, the psychological issues or mental health issues. And that is something which is happening maybe because in Western world, the family traditions were broken much earlier than they are being broken now in India or other Asian countries. We still had a lot of bonding, family bonding. People have become nuclear, families have come up. They are self-centered, and when they go into marital discord or when they are in live-in relationships, that kind of a discord. So a lot of materialism also come in there. And then the discord, naturally, when they are alone, then you are naturally depressed for various reasons. If you cannot occupy yourself, by way of your mind, body, and emotionally, spiritually, socially, and then people take the help of alcohol, sometimes drugs, and all those. So it's a huge area to go for session, and maybe you can request Dr. Patel to take this session, because this is, we
Yes.
all notice people have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress for various reasons. Somebody might have lost his job, somebody might have fallen sick, or somebody might be sick in family. There is support, financial issues. So whole lot of issues actually there are these issues. And since people have become independent, so-called today, I would take my decisions. Okay, that's good. But the family support somehow, which was there, is no longer available. People don't have time for each other, even for their own children, they don't have time. So you can imagine what will happen as a result. And these are the results of that. Parents put pressure on children to score high marks and all those. There are a number of issues. So I think this is something which I think Dr. Patel can take a full session on this, how we can do away with this and nurture values, what Mr. Charlie mentioned, that and by love and affection, and all that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mishra, for taking this aspect of empathy and sympathy and what is actually needed right now. And surely it calls for another session and another, I think it's just the beginning of all of us coming together, but more in-depth sessions we will definitely organize, and we will write in a number wherein and a WhatsApp group where such programs will be updated. So thank you so much, Dr. Mishra, for your input, and Brother Charlie for your real perspectives that you've given us. And now we move forward and we can see that Asha Didi has joined us. Asha Didi, you would know, is the director of the Om Shanti Retreat, Brahma Kumari's largest North India campus, and she has been practicing spirituality since the age of 8-9 years, and she's been a gold medalist, I understand, in psychology, and Didi will correct me, and she's also been a lecturer at the Mount Carmel College, Bangalore, but thereafter she she gave her entire life for the service of humanity. So we are very fortunate to have Didi's perspective with us. Asha Didi,
yeah. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Am I audible?
Yes, Didi, you're audible. Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, and kindly forgive me because I was not there in the whole session. I was out and I just arrived when Brother Charlie was ending his talk and Dr. Mishra was making comments. So I just heard this much. But the perspective probably that has come up is that we need to take care of ourselves, self-care. और जिस समय हम सेल्फ केयर की बात कर रहे हैं, बात सिंपैथी, एम्पैथी की आई, लव, अफेक्शन की आई, और बात आई कि हमें व्यवहार में कैसे रहना है, ऑल दीज थिंग्स. सो one thing which I feel which is very essential, and we need to understand it thoroughly, that we have no control over the outside world. The challenges, the circumstances, all these things will be there, and we are there to face them. We are expected to face them. We are living in a world of uncertainty, living in a world of instability. We're living in a world of insecurity and so on. Many, many challenges, many challenges. And they keep multiplying. It is not that once it is done with it. No. We have to face them day in and day out. And what we plan does not hold good with what's happening. It keeps changing again. So, what Brother Charlie was saying towards the end, he was mentioning about meditation. And the meaning of the word meditation, and the Latin word medere, which means to heal. Heal what? Heal the wounds on the soul. And I would say that just as when we see a patient, or when one goes for surgery, one is to perform surgery, we take full care. We take full care of what is going on, and everything is accurate, everything is fine, everything is up to date. And we also take care that we are also in a good state of mind, stable, calm, quiet. And we also want our team to be very calm, quiet, stable, cheerful. And only then we feel that we are well prepared for the surgery, to perform surgery. Dear brothers and sisters, similarly, it is very essential that we equip ourselves with inner powers. For instance, decision making. It is such an important thing with doctors. A decision that you have to take at the right moment is very crucial for the health of the patient, the life of the patient. And this decision making gets improved when we practice meditation, because we are able to declutter our minds throughout the day. So many things go on in the mind. And if in between we declutter, then this thing, decision making, what is important, what is needed, what is required at that moment, will appear in our minds. Similarly, patience. Now, sometimes patient wants to know what has gone wrong with him. The relatives want to know what is the position of the patient. If we are not patients and we just answer in a simple way, I would like to say, little harsh way, the mind of the relatives is disturbed. They want to know, but they are not able to know. So little patience, I think, is also required. Similarly, there are other powers. So we need to build our inner resilience to face the challenges. And meditation is one of those ways which is definite and surely the one that equips us with those inner powers. The strength inside increases. Our relationship with our team members increases. I know of some doctors, those who have been very hard taskmasters, very strict with the team, but people used to be afraid of them. But after learning meditation, there was a change in their lives. There was a change in their behavior. And same thing is done, but now it is done in a more loving way, more acceptable way, and so on. So self-care, as I said, I see self-care and as well as the care of the relatives and the patients also, the team members also, very important. That is, if our behavior is very soft, then it is conducive to the practice or the our way of functioning, our way of dealing with the situation. So meditation, I would request our doctors that you are medical persons, but dear brothers and sisters, meditation is also a sort of medicine. Meditation is also a sort of medicine. The other day, one doctor was just speaking in the class, and I just heard it. And I felt if we were told about this a bit earlier, we would have started practicing. He said, those people, I do not know, it may be a matter of research, I'm not very sure, but the doctor was saying, so I'm just repeating what he said. He said that if a person is very honest, transparent, dedicated in his life towards his work, and keeps a balance, cheerfulness, etc. in his lifestyle, then if a person is a common person, it seems, I do not know about it much, but it seems that the immunity of the person becomes very, very strong. The immune system becomes very strong. I do not know, but I'm told that there are researchers on it. And this is true. When such things are adopted in our lives, these qualities are adopted in our lives, then it does help in our day-to-day working with the patients and with the people. So I would really, I am appreciating that how all of you have been listening to this webinar, and I'm sure you will also take out little time to visit the Om Shanti Retreat Center from where this is being conducted. And I'm also sure that you will also take personal benefit from meditation and equip yourselves to face those challenges that we come across in our day-to-day life. So thank you very much for giving me patient hearing. And Om Shanti. Om Shanti means I am a peaceful being. I am a peaceful being. And when I say Om Shanti to you, I consider you also to be a peaceful being. So we are at the same wavelength. We interact at the same wavelength. We are peaceful, and let our thoughts, speech, and actions also be peaceful. The surroundings be peaceful. Okay? Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Asha Didi. It was really inspiring, and you gave your blessings and also an invitation to all of us here. So many doctors have joined. So we have shared the number, we've shared the website. You can join that WhatsApp group, and we can all be connected. And of course, we need to have more such programs because we together have to create a better future. So thank you once again. And, just before we close, of course, we've shared our numbers with you. Our number are also on the flyer, which was given to you. You can connect on that number as well. We have given the website address, omshantiretreat.org/events, where you can have the events of the future, which are announced periodically. So with this, thank you once again, and let us sit in meditation for a few moments. Asha Devi, would you like to give us a few thoughts? And, I'll request if Didi consents, then if Didi can give a few thoughts of.
And I feel that I will be there with you, but you.
Okay. Sure. So let us sit and, just relax ourselves as we close this session, but we prepare ourselves to whatever we've heard right now, those realizations. So let me just sit back and I let go of all the other thoughts, and I simply connect with my inner being, the being of light, the being of peace and love. I remember myself as a pure energy, and this is the seat of healing, which heals my mind, my body, enables me to connect with God. And I feel that energy of peace as I remember my originality. I spread that peace around me. Just for a few moments, we sit in deep silence.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. मैं आत्मा शांति स्वरूप हूँ. I am peaceful soul. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. मैं आत्मा सुख स्वरूप हूँ. I am happy soul. Om Shanti ओम